Welcome to this courageous conversation. A courageous conversation helps us to engage in dialogue with people we don't normally speak to about things we don't normally speak about, or with those we speak to all the time about topics we would rather avoid.
Hi, Tim Mulvaney. Welcome to today's Courageous Conversation. Just a quick comment on what do you call people? I just finished a series of sexual harassment prevention sessions with an organization, and we spent a lot of time with them talking about what do you call people. We spent a lot of time talking about, on the one hand, the terms of endearment, honey, sweetie, baby, those sort of things, and how those impact folks. Got us talking about nicknames, and are nicknames a problem, and where can that create an issue for folks? So in the session, we talk a lot about, and I always talk a lot about in terms of names. If you're uncertain, call people what they want to be called. I mean, the bottom line is somebody wants, call me Tim rather than honey. Simple as that. But this article with a link, it was on Politico.com, and it caught my eye. I read about this before, but you may have seen Senator Barbara Boxer reprimanded someone, a general, or actually Brigadier General Michael Walsh, was testifying in front of her committee, and he was calling her ma'am when he was addressing the questions back, and she interrupted him and asked him to call her senator rather than ma'am. She was offended by the fact that he was calling her ma'am rather than senator. She talked about, I've worked really hard to have that title, so I prefer to be called by that, which, as the article talks about, and when I first heard about it, struck me as true. A little bit of a culture clash there, because in the armed forces, calling somebody ma'am, a female superior, calling her ma'am is about the highest thing you can do. I mean, it is a sign of respect. On the flip side is for her that the idea of being called ma'am apparently was offensive. So two people doing the exact same thing, having completely different reactions to that particular event. So what's the answer? The answer is to call her senator, because she wants to be called senator, so call her senator, right? But how do you know that going into it? How do you know this particular person? And as you read the article, some interesting examples of other members of Congress and how they like to be called. And the reality is, it is about the individual. And so as people, and that's what Courageous Conversation is all about, but about having to get to know people individually, take your best guess. Do I think they want to be called Tim, sir, honey, ma'am? What is it? Take my best guess. And then be prepared if they ask for something different. It's like, okay, this is what I thought, but this is what you want, so okay, no problem. And where we set our own ego aside, if you will, because the reality is, it doesn't matter to me, right? It's like, it's not my name, it's their name, it's their honorific, it's their title. So whatever they want to be called, that's your better bet. But because we just finished a series on sexual harassment prevention, this struck me as interesting, caught my eye, so take a look at it. Let me know what you think. And this is Tim Mulvaney. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.